Hello everyone. I hope you are aware about the case of Atul Subhash, a guy who committed suicide because he was fed up of the entire system, of the laws, and of his wife and her relatives who had filed false cases against him. Likewise, there is also a guy called Manav, and he too committed suicide under similar circumstances. Not just these two people, but social media is filled with multiple such cases and multiple such stories where men are depressed, men are sharing their stories of how they are being unfairly treated in the courts of law. Also, I had shared some videos about the absurd logic and the kind of judgments that are being passed by completely overriding the interest of men, as if men are just these second class citizens who have no rights or no place in the society. For example, there was this judgment which said that if wife has an emotional affair with some man but she was not involved physically, then still she is entitled for maintenance from her husband. Then there was that judgment where the Supreme Court held that one or two instances of adultery are not sufficient to disentitle a wife from getting maintenance. Then we also saw a katina of judgments where several husbands at various high courts had filed pleas seeking paternity test of their child because they believed that the child birthed by their wives was not theirs. But still, the High Courts and Supreme Court had refused it, citing that it violates the right to privacy of the child. Also, it could hamper the future of the child, and also it could impact the character of that woman negatively in the eyes of society. Now, when you look at all these judgments and the reasoning behind it, all you can see is that these courts are only looking at the case from the angle of the woman as to how it could impact her. But nobody seems to care about the men, about the husbands, about their interest, about the consequences that could occur. For example, when the courts order a wife, when the court orders a husband to pay maintenance to a cheating, disloyal, unfaithful wife, then just imagine the state of that husband. How would he feel? Because the law is right when it says that it is the duty of the husband, moral and legal duty of the husband, to maintain his wife. But only when that wife also fulfills her own moral duties towards the husband and her in laws. But if the wife fails to follow her duties, her obligations, then why should she get the benefit? Why should she get the maintenance? If courts want to interpret the law, if courts want to make the society a better place to live, then why don't courts consider all these implications? And due to this, the young men have started being fearful of the law, of women, and of marriages. Several YouTubers, channels, and influencers have started milking money on this wave of fear, the fear of young men about the laws and about the marriages. Most of them are preaching to young men that don't get married. Stay away from marriage, stay away from women, and just earn your own livelihood, focus on your career, make money, roam around, travel the world, all those kinds of things. So these things are preached to young men under the fear of them being falsely implicated or maybe misused or abused by their so called future wives. So men have started thinking, why take that much risk? Why marry such kind of a woman? Why risk it? Why gamble their entire savings and career? And to an extent, they are right. They are right in safeguarding their own interest. But that is not a long term option or a feasible option. Eventually, that is not sustainable because the institution of marriage might get destroyed. The families, the culture, all will get destroyed if men start being fearful of marriages. And also, if women don't stop misusing the laws. Now, the idea or the conclusion of these men to not marry or to remain bachelor for the rest of their lives, that conclusion, I feel, is based on a wrong premise. The reason being is they think that the game is rigged. And if the game is rigged, then why not just quit it? Why keep on playing and losing? This is the logic they use. That is to say, if the laws are unfavorable, are biased against men, then why marry? Rather to remain single and be happy. Naturally, on the surface, it appears to be a right conclusion, but I think it is not. Just try to think from my perspective now. See, if the laws are biased or if the game is rigged, then there has to be someone who is getting the benefit of that chaos, right? Therefore, if the laws are biased, if the system is biased, then there is someone on the other side who is getting benefit of all that. So why not keep playing the game, but just by switching the side, just by being on that side, which is getting the benefit of the rigid nature of the game or the biased laws. Outsmart the system. If you because as individuals, we cannot change the system, we cannot change the laws, we cannot change the nature of women, but we can change ourselves. So why not change ourselves and outsmart the system? So first, let us see who is getting the benefit of these biased laws and unfair nature of these courts. First is, of course, the wives, the woman, because she is getting maintenance despite of cheating, despite of uh, abusing the law, despite of being disloyal or harassing the husband. In short, despite of being guilty, she is getting all the benefit. So first is the woman. Second category of people who are getting the benefit of these laws are lawyers, the advocates, because they get to file cases, they get to make money, and they get to make a career out of it. Third, we can say, are the influencers, social media creators who are making videos based on those articles, those news, those events, those stories, those people. Likewise, there is a range of other people as well. But out of all those, there is a fourth person. That fourth person is not yet in the eyes of the general public. He is hidden somewhere. And if you become that fourth person, then you will get all the benefits which the woman is getting, the advocate is getting, the creators are getting. Who is that fourth person? All right. For that, you have to understand the female nature. See, when a woman is in love, or when a woman is attracted to someone, then she does not follow any kind of morals, any kind of ethics, nothing. All she follows is her biological instinct. So, when these women, in these cases, in the news, in the articles which you are seeing, these women who are cheating, who are filing false cases, who are running away with their boyfriends after marriage, all these women have two men in their lives. First is, of course, the husband. The husband, who in her eyes is a weak person. For her, he is only a backup option, or we can say only a provider. His job, she feels, is only to earn money and provide a particular kind of lifestyle to her. But she is not attracted to him. She does not love him. Then there is the second guy, the other person in her life. He could be her lover, her affair partner, her old friend, her soulmate. That other man, she feels, is a real man. Because when a woman is cheating, then she has to cheat with someone. There has to be someone with whom she can cheat. When a woman is filing false cases and going at her maternal home, then there has to be some man who is giving her the shoulder to cry upon. When a woman is running away from her matrimonial home, then of course there is some man whose hand she is holding while running away. And when these courts are making judgments, passing laws, they are favoring that other man because that other man knows that even if his affair is caught with a wife, then the husband is still obliged to pay to her. If there is emotional affair, still the husband has to pay. If there is physical involvement, still the husband has to pay. Even if that man impregnates that wife, that woman, then still the husband has to pay maintenance to her as well as the child under the law. Clearly, then, the other man is the real beneficiary of all this. And I feel that courts perhaps have forgotten this implication and what kind of state they are creating. Because by such judgments, they are promoting adulterous relationships, immoral relationships, they are promoting cuckoldry, and they are causing great injustice to men who perform their husbandly duties duly. And in return, what these husbands are getting is nothing but injustice and betrayal from the woman who they thought was their life. So, now that we know that the other man who is on the opposite side of all this chaos is getting the real benefit, then why not become that other man in someone else's life? I know in your mind you are thinking that, Kalpesh, what are you saying? You are telling us to destroy families, to destroy the lives of married couples. You are telling us to have affairs. Well, I'm just making the conclusion, the right strategy. The courts are compelling you to do all this, not me. Because when a state passes a law, then the citizens have to adapt with that law for their survival. So the lawmakers, the judiciary, should be aware about the consequences of their judgments, not me. I am just giving you the right and a viable strategy under these circumstances. As a man, what you can do to fulfill your genetic and emotional legacy. See, suppose the finance minister increases taxes. They increase the limit such that it would be highly unlikely that the people would be able to pay those taxes because the tax bracket, the limitation is so high. What will happen in that case? If the taxes are high, then the citizens will stop paying taxes or start evading taxes, right? Or say, if the state passes a law that a murder committed under the influence of alcohol is not an offense, then what will be the consequence? Consequence will be most murderers will start drinking alcohol and then commit suicide just to take the legal defense of being under the influence of alcohol. So, somewhere we can see that we as a society, as individuals, adopt to the laws of our state. And in this case, as men, you should do the same. Running away, not marrying, dying without having any genetic product or legacy, and just living the hedonistic life is not the real option. Because what do you think? We men have always been in two classes, the real men and the fearful men. Suppose when you were in college and there were many girls, there also, at that time also, men had two categories. One kind of men were very brave, bold, who just went to women, who just went to those girls if they liked. They proposed her, they made her, uh, they made them as girlfriends, and they had relationships. And there was the other category of boys or men, we can say, who were fearful of girls. And just due to that fear, they never approached any girl, they never proposed, and spent their entire college life as a single man or a boy. And what did they lose? They lost once in a lifetime opportunity of being with a girl at that tender age. They lost all the experience of female nature. Likewise, even today, if you act based on that same fear that I will not marry because of the laws, because of the women, or I will not love a woman because I am fearful of her nature, then you are losing a lot in your life. It is a different thing if you are a spiritual person or you have other goals in your life than just chasing women or love. If you are that exceptional man, then that is okay. But if you are a normal man, an average man who wanted to have family, who wanted to love a woman, who wanted to have children, but he is just running away due to the laws and the fear, then I would say don't run away. Don't run away. Just change your position. Just switch the side. Be the other man. If you look at the state of society presently, then we can see that most women are marrying for lifestyle, for money, for finance. So they are essentially looking for the provider. They are not marrying for love. They are not marrying for lust. They are not marrying due to attraction. They are not marrying to be partners. They are marrying only to be roommates of those men so they can get similar kind of lifestyle from that man. But as we know, women have other needs too. They are humans. They want care. They want appreciation. They want love. They want attention. They want sex. And when these women marry such men with whom they are not attracted, then they look out elsewhere to fulfill that need. Then it could be her boyfriend, her best friend, her classmate, her neighbor, anyone who gives her those things which she misses in her marriage, and she falls in love with him. And then a cycle begins where the woman starts living two lives at the same time, one with her provider, that is her husband, and one with her lover. And the courts, the lawmakers don't care about all this. They are, in fact, protecting the lover through their judgments. So, if they are promoting such kind of culture, then why not take the sides that benefit you? I don't think you should stand tall, stand strong, and defend your morals, especially when the executives, the legislature, the judiciary itself is not interested in protecting those. So, if the institutions, the great institutions of your country, are not interested in protecting your moral, your culture, your custom, then why are you fighting for it? It is their duty, not yours. You have one life, you should get everything in that one life itself. And these fears of being falsely implicated or of being cheated by women should not get into your way. Just think that you have to live a fulfilled life, you have to get everything, you have to be financially successful, you have to be emotionally satisfied, you have to get genetic superiority, you have to get spiritual and intellectual comfort. Then try to fulfill all those aspects. Otherwise, what's the use if you just earn, focus only on your career, focus only on getting money? But what will you do with all that if you don't have anything? No genetic legacy, no professional history or identity. If you don't have anything and just live like a hedonist, trying to fulfill pleasure or satisfy the senses of pleasure by eating or by going to places, then what's the use? A woman is an integral part of a man's life. And when I say woman, I don't mean a prostitute. I don't mean a woman who you can buy with money. A real woman who loves you and whom you love. Only then you will be able to see the real side, the real nature of women. Otherwise, you will just see a sexual doll when you go to a prostitute or a woman who gives sexual services based on money. You will never get to see a real woman inside her. So I would say work on everything. Try to be the best man and attract the best possible woman you can. And not just women, I would rather say women. Be the other man. Let these weak men pay for maintenance, pay for her trips, her shopping, her lifestyle. Let them pay. And I am calling them weak because they themselves have chosen that spot. They chose it. They chose that woman. You see, a man in his heart knows why a particular woman is with him. He knows that. These women who are getting crores of alimony after just 1 or 2 years of their marriage, who are filing false cases against men, these women had from the beginning married for money only. And somewhere deep down, these men also knew that the woman is marrying them for money. But still, they reached a compromise. The man wanted her beauty, the woman wanted his money, and they got married. See over the internet or all the books which you read, they tell you to earn money and you will get women. That is the wrong idea because money attracts women, definitely, right? But money often attracts wrong kind of women because the woman who is coming for you based on that money or the products of money, like your lifestyle, like your car, your watch, your bike, your house, that woman is not attracted to you but your lifestyle. So this middle class mindset of only focusing entirely on career, only focusing on money, is a wrong approach because we forget that a woman needs more than that. She also has other needs. Therefore, focus on the other important aspects as well. Focus on your humor, focus on your intellectual abilities, try to be creative, uh, focus on your physique, most importantly, because she has to feel attracted to you. You can't just force her to have sex with you. There has to be some kind of attraction. What young men are being taught is they should just focus on money, regardless of how they look, and they'll get a woman. No, they'll get a sex doll or a sexual doll. They will not get a woman. All right. The conclusion then is try to be the other man. Be such exceptionally good in terms of physique, in terms of strength, in terms of look, in terms of intellect, in terms of creativity, in terms of emotional maturity, that a woman herself will come to you. And when that woman herself comes to you out of love, out of attraction, then there are very rare chances of her cheating on you. So, to protect yourself, you have to be self aware about your position in that woman's life. This is very important. And eventually, you will learn it, of course. Nobody gets born as a player, but you should be aware about your own place in the sexual marketplace. Be the other man who is above average. in every aspect of his life. He attracts women. He does his own job. He does his own work. He has his own identity. He has his own life. Don't do all things for a woman. Don't give her unconditional love. Don't expect her to be loyal. A real man, the other man, knows and recognizes the treacherous nature of a female. She is the slave of her emotions, and she can react in any way possible when it comes to her survival. A woman will always choose the best for her survival. And when it comes to survival, she doesn't mind cheating or betraying her primary partner. That is their nature. Somewhere we forget that we are animals. And just like a man who is selfish, a woman too is selfish. She has her own desires, her own needs. You can't just compel her to follow the codes of men. For example, loyalty. Loyalty is a very different thing in men and in women. For a woman, loyalty is transactional. If you do something for her, then chances are she might do something for you in return. But if her emotions at some time tell her that she should betray you because betraying you is in her interest, then she will betray you. She will not follow the precedents. She does not remember what you did for her in the past. She will only remember what you did for her in the present, in the now. And based on that, she will react. And all this you will only understand when you be with a woman, when you live with a woman, when you love a woman. That is her nature. Try to think of her as a different kind of species. Don't try to enforce your morals or your own ideals of a woman onto her because she is not the way we imagine her to be. She is not an innocent or a flawless creature. She is not. She is cruel, she is treacherous, she is unkind, she is selfish, she is just an animal. You can't just try to tame a lion. A lion can never be as domesticable or loyal as a dog because they have their own nature. Similarly, you cannot make a woman like a man. She will not follow your ideas, your expectations. Eventually, she will act on her own natural instincts. She will only follow what is best for her. And that is what the current state of society is telling us. As a woman who is educated, who is independent, who has her own dreams, that woman knows the law, that woman sees everything on social media. She sees that the law is favoring her. She can get maintenance. She can marry and leave the husband. She can file false cases and have no consequences. Then what will she do? Based on all that, she acts in her own best interest. She gets married and files false cases, takes divorce and gets the money. So, marriage is an investment for her, right? So, women are so smart that they identify the circumstances and try to take the best route possible for their survival. Nobody has to tell all this to women. But see, here I am as a man telling you all this. I am telling you that look at this situation just like the woman and act in your best interest. Be the other man.